okay, they have 3 different events. Daddy can come to 2 of them, 2 out of 3, or maybe 1 out of 3. Whatever your schedule permits, I encourage each dad, attend what you can. It means a lot to them. It's huge to them.
Welcome to the Faithful Fathering Podcast. Thank you for joining us. This is Rick Wertz, founder and president of Faithful Fathering, where we encourage and equip dads to be faithful fathers. That's a dad that prioritizes physical presence, is engaged emotionally, and leads spiritually by example. That's reflecting the triune nature of our God in the home. I pray that you've had a good summer and made some great memories as a family. It's time to transition back into school, and that's what this podcast series is about, is back to school, working on understanding how we in the home, our educators, our parents are the primary educators of our children, and we're providing the foundation for the school to work with. And to help us in this dialogue, I've invited a dear friend of the ministry, as well as he's a husband, a father, and a father of 5, and he's also the operations manager for Faithful Fathering. Jason Hall, thank you for joining us, Jason.
Thank you so much, Rick. I'm so blessed to be here.
I know you've got a child in every season, and we've talked about that before with 5 children, and I'd like to focus in on the teacher season of fathering, which is the first 10 years of our children's lives. And I know there's an awful lot of education that goes on before they're ready to go to school. Everybody can read the book, Seasons of Fathering, for some more insight on that. But I know that it's a challenge, a lot of anxiety for a child. Now, you've got your youngest daughter is going into the 3rd grade. Can you share a little bit about how you really prepare her for school now versus when she was going to kindergarten?
Sure. Yeah, there's a big difference. There's a lot more dynamics, different challenges. She's been a few years, but it's interesting that compared to kindergarten and now, there's still a level of anxiety. Am I going to have a good teacher? Am I going to have my friends in my class? Or am I going to be able to make new friends, that like me? So there's conversations that my bride and I have with her, with Journey, who just turned 9 years old. And we have those, it's great conversations because we can put it before the Lord in prayer with her. It gives us a spiritual side, but it allows her to open up and share. One thing that she struggles with right now is at night, sometimes she's afraid of the dark. And so we have those conversations like what's going on. And then before school, I'm happy that she does express that she has some anxiety about it. She has a little fear of these things. But what I do is reassure her that, I tell her, it's going to look different this year. It's for sure going to look different. But the good thing is we get to go to back to school night, meet the teacher night. Some of her friends did end up in her class again, so that was cool. From last year. So there's some of these, and even the ones that didn't, we had a good conversation the other day, actually. She got to see them at recess, so she was really excited about that.
There you go. Well, I know, in those early years in the book, Seasons of Fathering, I reference routine is very important for those early years, so they understand, what's the routine of going to church, what's the routine for eating dinner, is there anything about the routine that you looked at maybe a week or so ahead of school to get her in that routine to where she could adjust to the routine of going back to school?
Yes, great question. Definitely helpful we created a routine of bedtime, at a certain time. She'll go to bed by about 8:30 p.m. But right before bed is, shower, brush your teeth, different things. And then there's a time of reading and devotion. So that's and pray before we go to sleep. So that really helps her. It eases her anxiety. It helps her to gain confidence in the Lord and really seek Him. But it also, that spiritual discipline shows that, hey, mommy and daddy are involved in your life in this way. And then we have a children's Bible. So the children's Bible is very applicable to her. So she can understand it. It has scripture, but it breaks it down and what that means to her level. So.
So you have established a routine of reading nightly or a
Absolutely.
good bit with her, and I know that's a huge issue through this window of time, isn't it? Because our kids are moving from learning to read to reading to learn.
Right.
How have you seen that transition as you read together? Is she reading more? Is she reading some books on her own by now?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So we read with her, but now about, I would say, an hour before dinner each night, she reads on her own. So and it's good because part of her routine is actually part of her homework. So they're supposed to read for 20 minutes. And so she'll get like 2 or 3 books from the library at school each week. And then their job is to read 20 minutes a night before dinner time. So that's
Wow,
really good.
fantastic! Yeah,
Yes.
that's a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, but an idol of mine, actually, in the tennis world, was a gentleman by the name of Arthur Ashe,
Oh, yeah.
and he always encouraged families, buy your kids books and
Yes.
keep them reading, because I personally have seen that as my bride, and when I was in the corporate world, I was gone a lot of the time. And my bride would take the kids to bed early, and they would read in bed. And our daughter would be almost to the point where she was reading a page or so, but then our son would be assigned a word to find. And whenever they came to that word, he got to say that word. And so it just really encouraged reading and learning during that learning to read time. And I'm convinced that's why they're an awful lot smarter than I am, because they were a lot better readers
Right.
early on. Back to the routine that you practice. Are there some routines that you have in the mornings and when the kids come back from school? Some things that they know what to expect?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. So when they get home from school, they're allowed to get a snack, some wind down time, to relax, or maybe like Journey, she likes art. So we allow her, what she does, she'll get her snack, get some water, something like that. And then she'll break out her art supplies, and then she'll get to create her art for about an hour or so. She'll get to work on that, and then she'll get a little break after that. And then she'll, before dinner, she'll do her 20 minutes of reading, and then she'll do dinner. And then now it's time to, go outside and get to ride her bike.
Good.
So some exercise. So
Right.
we encourage the routine of, getting your snack, getting your exercise in, getting your reading in. And then obviously later before bed, you're going to get your spiritual component as well.
So there's some playtime in there as
There
well.
is some, absolutely.
You got to have that. That's a
Yes.
given. What type of things are they? Obviously, you talk about physical fitness, so there's some outdoor time and what have you.
Yes. And what's cool about that is, Rick, it allows daddy and mommy time too. Like I'll get out there while she's riding her bike, I'll walk alongside or jog alongside her. And then we'll have some fun like that, some conversation,
All right.
stuff like
So
that.
there's some playing together
Playing together.
And the routine there but her release, it sounds like it's more artsy,
Yes, that's her
artistic
thing,
than
yes.
artsy than necessarily physical activity,
That's
right?
correct.
That's important too, isn't it? That we have to
Yeah.
find what's the release that kids can have to unwind from the day a little bit. That's good. That's good. All right, and finally we look at this is the age where we're encouraging our kids to really understand some responsibility. How do you guys, or what are your tips for dads to help their children understand that? Not only do they have responsibilities in the home, but there's also a responsibility for what's going on in school, what assignments might be due, and that type of thing.
Absolutely. Great question. So in the home, there's certain chores that she does. She makes sure her room is clean as well. She enjoys, it's kind of cool because she enjoys cleaning up and things. So we'll allow her to participate, in some of that vacuuming, wash the dishes, she puts them away, things like that. And then also with school, the schools are real organized. They'll bring home a lot of schools do it, take home folder. It'll have the flyer for the parent to see what's going on in the calendar. And then it'll also have their assignments. And so her responsibility is to give it to the parent, me or her mom, and then she'll have to look through, and then she'll say, Mommy and Daddy, this is coming up. She'll let us know the events, and then she'll say, this is what I have for homework. So then she can incorporate. They'll say, well, when within her routine that was built, we allowed her to choose like when do you feel best to do it? You want to do it before dinner, after dinner, not too late, of course. And she got to choose that, so give her some liberty and freedom to choose when she does it.
Okay.
But she has to still do it that night, but it's just what time, 5 or 6.
And she accepts that responsibility. Does she understand that
Yes,
this is
she
her
does.
responsibility?
She does understand her responsibility, so that's pretty cool.
And mom helps with that, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. She probably gets more credit than I do.
Have there been some responsibilities that maybe are embraced a little more willingly than?
Yeah. Interesting enough, the reading. She loves to read. You never have to tell her to read. She's really embraced reading. Chapter books now. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, that's an accomplishment. Any other tips on any of those fronts? Playing, praying,
Yes.
that type of thing. Anything else that you would encourage dads in their routine as much as possible? Try to normalize it. What's your encouragement there?
Yeah, there's a huge encouragement to, whenever they get that folder or they have their schedule, definitely look on there and see what you could participate in as a dad. One thing that I did in the beginning of the year, they just started school about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. They have a school calendar, so they have like events like donuts for dads, or they have like back to school night or different things. So we went in together and we kind of choose for that month. Like we have September, okay, they have 3 different events. Daddy can come to 2 of them, 2 out of 3, or maybe 1 out of 3, whatever your schedule permits. I encourage each dad, attend what you can. It means a lot to them. It's huge to them. And if you can't attend, it just as practically as to tell them, communicate, say, son or daughter, I'm not able to make this event, but I can make this one. And so it means a lot to them to communicate well. So I think routinely communicate well.
Right. Routinely communicate well. That's a good tip. And of course, if you miss an event, you can always bribe them with some ice cream.
Oh, that works too.
You can tell me about the event over ice cream.
Yes, there we go. That helps.
Well, that's good. Well, dads, that's some great tips from Jason for a child that the teacher season is ages 10 years and younger. So this is a critical time for you to be engaged and involved in the development of your child, and particularly in the school activities, to set that routine with mom that works for you as well, to be engaged in reading and praying with your child, and to help them healthy play, to get out and maybe some teamwork activity, maybe some individual activity, as well as beginning to understand responsibility, both at the individual level, for responsibility for self, as well as responsibility for assignments in school and what have you. So be engaged through this teacher season, particularly as kids get back into the routine. And as Jason said, when you can't make an event, let them know ahead of time. We're not going to make every event, but my encouragement is to, as Jason said, get it on your calendar and make it the exception that you miss, not the rule. So enjoy this time. It's a beautiful time with the young children in school. Just be with them, be engaging, and be encouraging. That's the dad you're called to be. That's the dad the next generation needs. God bless. Godspeed. Thank you again, Jason.
My pleasure.